Foamer is never early nor late. He starts the stream exactly when he means to. Hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I think it's working. It should be working. It is working. Hello. Let me paste the link where I gotta put the thing. And let's begin with our traditional. Let's see. Let's see how this is gonna go today. This will set the tone for everything else. Alright, come on. There we go. Actually, yeah, no, I need a good score today. I need a good start. I need something positive. That's what I need. So, hopefully this goes well, or hopefully it goes so incredibly poorly that it's funny, and that we can... No! Oh, no. That's not a great way to start. Although, getting 2 lines right off the bat there is not bad. So I can't really complain about that. I guess I'll put this there. I accidentally tried to start the stream with the wrong stream key, and I noticed immediately, I realized immediately what I was doing. It's one of those things where you press the button and you go, oh shoot, like no, something's wrong, like I didn't think about that. Ooh, this is exactly what I wanted. Ooh. Oh, it didn't help at all. Okay then. Let's just carry on then. I don't know. But I clicked the button and then immediately went, oh no, like, no, that's not good. That's not what I wanted to do. And then I immediately turned it off. I don't know if I was fast enough. I didn't look. I'm not going to look, but if somebody sees something on the community channel that's like a half a second long video of the starting screen for this stream, well, that's what happened. If you're not subscribed to the community channel, that's where all of the miscellaneous gaming content goes. Tomorrow we're doing Merger Mania, which is going to be fun. If you don't know what that is, it is sort of like Ticket to Ride on drugs. I don't really know what else to call it. But yeah, it's something special. But yeah, we'll be streaming that tomorrow. Oh, I really wanted to get to it once there. I just tapped the edge. We'll be streaming that tomorrow, more than likely. And then this weekend I'm going to the WNF, which is problematic because it's also a podcast weekend. So hopefully I'll be able to squeeze that in the evening, like when I get back. Or like on a Monday or a Tuesday. Tuesday I don't want to do. I guess I'll try to squeeze it in on Monday. We'll see, though. Okay. Okay, it's not going too poorly. Yeah, live from the WMF. I mean, we will definitely have enough people that are in the server there, now that the entire WMF has arrived in the Discord, which is great, by the way, but... Yay, an escape from being lulled into boredom by a simple errand. Yeah, I did that earlier. I know how it feels. Although it was really just me walking around the grocery store and going, what the hell is a Roma tomato? It turns out it's a plum tomato. That's what that is. I didn't know that. I had to Google it. But that's what it said in the recipe. It said a Roma tomato. And I went, I don't know what that is. I don't know what makes it different other than the size. I assume it tastes a little different than a regular tomato. Also, there was no shredded pepper jack cheese. I ended up getting Monterey Jack cheese, and that's not the same. It is not spicy. It's actually a little bit sweet. So, like, there's a company that does sliced, there's plenty of like sliced pepper jack cheese. I don't know how we're gonna make it spicy in the recipe. Alright, let's do that there. We've cleared the whole board and we've got 2,000 points, so that's something. And put that there. Okay, 3 at once. We got 500 points from that alone. Definitely can't complain about that. If anybody is new to the stream and is wondering why we're doing this, this is my little title card that says the stream will start soon, except I'm actually here, and I'm playing, not Tetris. I don't know what originally, like, spurred this. I honestly couldn't tell you, and we should have put that somewhere else so we could slide the long one down the middle, but oh well. You'd have to go back many, many episodes and figure out why I do this in particular at the beginning. It is sort of the perfect game for it. I can't think of another one because the rounds are so quick and the setup is so minimal, you know? I just sort of turn it on and go. It's basically a flash game. And I don't have Flashpoint installed on this computer. I don't think I do anyway. If I do, it's from a very, very long time ago. I guess I could do just a random Flash game. You know what I could do, actually? At the beginning of these streams, I could play Rails of War. The Flash game. I could do that instead. Maybe I should try that. Maybe I should see what kind of responses I get from playing Rails of War instead of not Tetris. I know people have asked me to play Sand Tetris again, or Setris, or whatever it is. I can definitely give that another shot. There are some other games like that, but there are so few that are like Tetris, like an arcade game. Like, you know, you start something and then it gets harder and harder and harder until you fail. There aren't that many. I mean, there are a reasonable number of games like that, but they're just, I don't know, they're out of reach for me. I don't know about them, and so few of them require the minimal setup. I mean, this has its own executable file, and it has an ending, right? It'll end for me. It'll say, okay, you're done, because I will lose. I will lose eventually. The other thing I could do, actually, the only other thing that comes to mind, right, is I could try to jump into, like, mini metro or mini motorways and do that as an opening. If I was, like, a fancy YouTube guy, I would even, like, pre-record some of those and use them as the stream is about to start. Just have a little banner that says that and then just play the thing. I have no idea how possible that would be. It'd be a really fun... It'd be a fun one, though. That's why I appreciate mini motorways and mini metro, because they are these sort of short-term experiences that, okay, you're done when you're done. Like, you're done when you lose. You go until you lose, and then you finish. It ends it for you. Your own skill level ends it for you. But you basically can't keep it going indefinitely. Okay, this is going to go here. I'm actually able to look ahead and see what's going on. I mean, we are doing pretty well. No! Oh, no. Oh, that's bad. Just saying we're doing pretty well. We're not now. I had a spot over on the right for that long one, and then the blocks bounced and it closed it. Okay. Yeah, sometimes things are a little jiggly in this. I feel like you could have, uh-oh. I feel like you could do... Isn't there a Tetris with, like, Jello pieces or something that somebody has made? Because that also is in the same vein here. Hi, East. Let's see. There we go. Okay, no, there we go. Yeah, jelly Tetris. I think it's just as infuriating as not Tetris, honestly. It looked at, like, I feel like I've seen GIFs of it. I don't know if it's a real game or if it's just like a proof of concept video somebody has made. Also, stuff is flying down now. It's really starting to move. This, and then don't fall over. Oh, no, I wanted that to go down. I wanted it to go in there. Oh, that really worked, but that didn't. Okay, I think the game is going to tell us our time is up pretty soon. Ooh, I got that, though. Ooh, and I got that. Okay, okay, okay. No, that's not great. We got another line, though. With every line comes the possibility that there's sort of a cascade of little pieces. Um, when I... Ooh, 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 there's another one. No, but they're all really small. Okay, we're pressing enough on the lower levels that it's making the lines collapse. Okay, so we've got like a cascade going on. Okay. When I re-downloaded this, when I rebuilt my computer and I re-downloaded this, I thought that because it was I thought the first one I had was number 1 and this one was number 2. Like, and this is number 2. This is not Tetris 2, right? But I thought I had the first one first, and I was actually excited. I was like, ooh, let's see what changes they've made in not Tetris 2. And then I started playing it and realized, hey, wait, it's exactly the same. I must not have had number 1 earlier. I just didn't realize that it was number 2. Knight Rider, I see you, and I will address that comment as soon as things are a little calmer over there. But TRS 2022 Premium Bundle on Super Sale, that sounds like a good advertisement that everyone should pick up on. It's worth it. It's fun. It's good. And if you want to throw more money at N3V, and I'm not going to say they don't deserve it, you can do like MPS and stuff. I think it would be cool to have an MPS server for the Discord, like beyond the one that we had built before. I wish I had the opportunity to sort of moderate and or take part in an endeavor like that. I don't know how to make one. I could always make one. But it would be a very like laissez-faire. It would be a lawless society, right? We wouldn't have so when we did the first, and this, oh, I don't know why I just spun that. That was the worst possible. I promise I'm not throwing. I swear to God I'm not throwing. Oh no, but I'm throwing myself into failure, all right. Okay, yeah, we're host. All right, we're done. So, and oh, we got the cutscene. I forgot about that. We did break $5,000, so I'm out of water. That's unfortunate. So the horsemen, like the horsemen proper, the horsemen rank folks, and some of the hobos, starting actually a few years ago, we built a multiplayer surveyor route, and I've hopped onto it a couple times during these streams. Unfortunately, some stuff is broken. 08, 08, 24. Cool. So now we've got to beat that high score. Yeah, unfortunately, some things are just cooked now. They're broken. My beautiful interchange junctions are gone. Like the terminal junctions, which were super chaotic and not super realistic, but I loved them to death. Okay. So, what are we gonna do today? We can work on this. I'd like to get at least one more block of houses done, but I don't really want to do that first. This right here is the biggest. Okay, looking back, that circle doesn't look too bad. This is the first like block that I want to get done, and honestly, I feel like I should jump over onto Google Maps and find something that's sort of similar to this. I just don't know where I would look. Hobby Lobby is a blur to the eyes, walk past paint 2 or 3 times because the model kit's further down the aisle. Yeah. I haven't been to Hobby Lobby in about a million years, but there used to be a place over here called AC Moore. I understand that they were a chain, but I don't think they were nationwide. They had a Thomas aisle, and boy, was that my favorite place in the world as a kid. At any rate, yeah, so this is going to be, okay, we need to get this road through here. And anything that jumps to mind, right? Anything that jumps to mind for us to get done. But, yeah, we had a multiplayer surveyor server. And it was going well until we broke the game repeatedly. Right? Replace spline with selected asset. Now, the thing is, we had a system, and if we do it again, I will. What did I just do? Oh, I straightened it. No. I will go through and recreate this system of you get an allot, or you make a segment, right? You just pick 2 points on the map and you get that to build on. And when you're done with that, you can. I keep clicking the wrong option. When you're done with that, you can go on to the next section, your next section. And your sections um, aren't baked in and they aren't guaranteed until you finish your previous section. So it keeps somebody from like laying claim to the entire map and going from there. It was designed to combat that, but it also, by extension was sort of designed to combat people that have one very strong idea for how the world should be laid out and are just gonna like try to build that and railroad that through no matter what. Um, it was designed to give everyone, designed to sort of grant people control over the map, dictated by their pace, right? Um, Dictated by how quickly they were able to get stuff done. If you were building your segments very quickly, if you were able to, get done and come back to the map and pick another spot, faster than your peers, you would get to build out more of the map and decide, on like biomes and where the mountains and rivers and stuff are. What's up?
I have a question.
What's your question?
Do you want to go to trivia night with Gianna and I?
When?
September 4th at 6:30. It's ACOTAR trivia. The only thing is it's in Connecticut.
It's what trivia?
A Court of Thorns and Roses trivia.
Oh, A Court of Thorns and Roses trivia. Oh, okay. I mean, where in Connecticut? I assume you're asking me this because if I say yes, I'm the one who has to drive. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Well,
yeah.
Also,
so
you've read the books.
So
too.
if I said no, like I didn't want to go, then you would just not be able to go.
We'd probably figure a way out there.
It's Connecticut. It's no man's land. There's no way out there.
It's at a bar. I'll get the name for it.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure. Why not? I've kind of always wanted to do bar trivia. In general, A Court of Thorns and Roses trivia, I'm not going to excel at, and there better not be CC3 spoilers in there because that would be very frustrating.
I don't think so.
Well, we'll find out probably when we get there and they're like, when this character died. Just kidding. Sarah J. Maas doesn't ever kill anyone in her books. It's honestly kind of frustrating. Like, there are no consequences. And I'm sorry if that's a spoiler. Like, everyone should read those books. No, well, maybe not everyone. The Court of Thorns and Roses series is, it's something. It's a little spicy for someone who is not used to spice in their fantasy novel, romance in their fantasy novel. I've also talked about it before, and I've pointed out that really I'm not one for fantasy literature in the first place. However, a couple of episodes ago, I was talking about a world-building project of mine that I would like to work on, that I'd like to sort of, get a hold of someday and start doing stuff with. And I think I've brought this up before, and I've definitely mentioned it sort of in... Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong button. In like coffee shops and stuff before, which, for the record, if you write and you want to share that with the world, we've got a monthly event called Coffee Shop at the Discord where we share our writing projects. I'm always sharing chapters of The Iron Horseman, the motion picture, the novel, which is the novelization of what the final Iron Horseman Chronicles, well, maybe not final per se, but the bookend for the series. It's a movie set in 2003. But I've been writing that out because I just had to get it down. I couldn't leave the series on that much of a cliffhanger. I just had to, oops. Come on, I want to go right there. Yeah, there we go. Straighten spline. Or no, not straight. Why do I keep doing that? Insert spline point. Okay. straighten spline. Insert spline point. There we go. Okay, so now we've got this middle piece that we can carve out there. So yeah, I've thought about this project, and I don't have even like a notes document for it or anything like that. It's something that, honestly, hold on, let me see what that is. Honestly, I don't know if I want uh, to embark on this because of all the other stuff that I have going on. Let's do. I need like an invisible road spline, and I don't know if I have one. This is also not kosher. All right, we're gonna have to move the phone because now it's vibrating my whole desk, and I'm gonna get notifications for everything under the sun. Okay, whatever. Let's just. Are these connected at all? Oh, okay, they are. They are. Okay, I can just sync it a little bit then. As long as we know that works. I love going through those neighborhoods and looking at what we've got finished. It's very nice to see. Okay, let's bring that through there, and then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up to there, and bring that to there. No, you know what? Because of the gutters on the macadam streets. Yeah. Well, anyway, I hope anyone that's picking up Trainz 2022 at this point can look at these streams and sort of realize the power of the DLS and why they don't necessarily have to spend money on DLC and things like that. And even beyond that, there are. I'm not going to not advocate for, or I'm not going to advocate against using third-party sites for scenery, especially, but trains too. But sometimes it's good to not have to go digging, and so so that's pretty good. These guys are sitting pretty on the ground. That's good. And then this guy just needs 4 points, which I can do that in. I can do that in here. Boop, boop. Yeah, I don't need to go to. I don't need to go to Surveyor 2 to do this. Just to get a regular four-legged intersection done. But I might still want to go there to adjust it. Nope. Straighten that out, straighten that out, straighten that out. Straighten that out. Okay. Okay. We're gonna need to put in some bridges or culverts or something over here. Actually, I talked about making one of these a dead end, and I think, where there is no bridge or there's not a bridge anymore, right? I think this might be the place to do it back here, especially because we have this other unpaved road cutting through here. I'm not gonna cut this one. This one we've already got a bridge for, or a culvert, or whatever you want to call that. It is a bridge, but I am just so happy with how this looks. Okay, let's figure this out though, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna have almost exclusively residential along these roads, and in fact, there may be a sort of backwoods area that I can think of that is not unlike this. Part of me wants to say I'll put some trees along the highway here, and honestly, I still might do that. But it's a question of, what was here when. If this was, when did this area come into existence? This area sort of bloomed because of the industry coming up around. How am I moving the camera around like this? So this is arrow keys. This is just arrow keys. And then right-click moves the thing. I think WASD. Nope. Hold on. No, WASD doesn't. I think shit. No. Okay. Okay. There used to be a way. There used to be a way that you could like break it, and you would start moving this with the arrow keys or WAS keys. But yeah, so this is arrow key left and arrow key right, arrow key up and down, and then this is just your right mouse cursor. There might be something in the settings. So hold on, let me jump into settings really quick and see if there's anything funky in here that can mess with this. Interface settings, field of view, compass speed, compass movement. So that's weird that this is a mouse or keyboard. Okay, mouse or keyboard. Camera behavior, rotation or panning. Okay, so you might want to fiddle with these to get something that you're comfortable with. This compass movement, mouse, and camera behavior rotation. This is what I've been used to from like Trainz 2006. It was the same way, um, but it's not always going to be. It's not always going to be what everybody finds the most intuitive. Um, so yeah, okay. I think I might. Let's see. Let's grab some tree. No, let's just do the ground texture. All right. So let's go into Surveyor 2.0. And let's paint scrapbook data. That expires in 3 days. Let's set the filters to texture overwrite, meshes none, splines none, effect layers none. Oops, splines none, ground height none. The reason I want to do this is because I just want to mark out where the trees are going to be using the ground texture that we've got. And I think I want it to be right here. I want there to be enough room for one row of houses with some yards up against this road here. And that's kind of it. So we'll just have that there. Honestly, this has to come out a little bit. If we're going to keep it parallel to the road, it has to come out just the tiniest bit, like that. I don't know about... So, you're welcome. Let me know if you got any other questions like that, because at least that kind of thing I can answer pretty quickly. But if you got any questions at all, if anybody's got any questions, I am more than happy to sit down and expound on this or that. They don't even have to be Trainz related questions. I'll just answer whatever. I don't care. Before long, we'll be talking about movies again. No, so let me get the ground under this squared away, and then once that's done, we'll put in some grass. Honestly, I am hesitant to start throwing down houses, not necessarily because I am worried about something, but I just don't feel like it. You know, it's a lot of work to start throwing down houses. So let's move these two things out of the way. Let's get them in the physical pick list or something like that, because they're currently in the way, and that's not helping anybody. So let's move them over here. Over by... Oh, wait, no. The manor actually has a reason to be there. I'll just... You know what? Let's just throw them over here in the big pile. Although now they're underground, so... There we go. That's better. Oh, my back. Back's still killing me. Looking forward to going up to the WMF this weekend. Not super jazzed about the fact that my back is killing me while I'm doing that. Thankfully, we're not like doing track work or anything like that. We're not doing anything strenuous, but you know, it's still going to be kind of a bummer to have to sleep on the mattresses in the personal house or whatever when I'm all screwed up. Okay. I feel like, especially as I've gotten older, I really have such an aversion to doing anything that isn't sleeping in my own bed. Like, that's not necessarily a weird thing, but you know, I would like, when the Big E comes around, when the Big E model train show comes around, I drive up both days. And part of it is because, yeah, okay, I don't want to spend the money on a hotel room, but the other part of it is I just want to come home. I don't want to sleep in an unfamiliar bed. I don't want to um, just sort of figure out, figure that out at all, or like not even figure it out in insofar as like figuring out where to sleep, figuring out what bed, but just like getting comfortable. It's it's just I don't know. I'm so hesitant. What was that? Oh, I think I'm not sure if we've used this before. That's neat. Should use that somewhere. Actually, I think I have just a place. I went by it. This. Instead of this, I could have thrown down a house car. But I actually really like the look of that little freight office there, so I think I might just leave it. The house car is definitely something we could do, though. I don't know where, but here you go. Over in the pick list. So, yeah. Hello, Yankee. Greetings, Mopac. Yeah, so I just have to buckle down and start throwing down houses because what the hell are these? Look at these. These are really neat. These are some apartment buildings. I mean, the tomb stuff I'm a little hesitant about, but this stuff might fit over here. I mean, the air conditioners are a little modern, but, you know, that might fit over there. But yeah, we've got to just start throwing down houses. I mean, we're going to have houses down both sides of this road here. And honestly, I might extend this right-of-way at least to the river. And just not do anything with it. I'm still not certain about that there. But I want to get this done and this done, which I'm realizing that we have more road work to do, but let's just do this stretch first. There's some areas that you might see off the side of like Route 2 in Massachusetts that make me think of this. Like the area, like the little complex. Oh, look at that. The little complex that I bought my wagon from, incidentally, was stuff like that. Now, hold on, because these three-deckers don't really go over here. This area doesn't have the density for it. But they definitely go somewhere, and I'm going to put this over here with the others because it looks about right. Alright, let's keep going down the road with the tomb stuff. This building doesn't have a door. I'm not sure what I should do about that. It doesn't have a door. Should I be concerned that people can't get in or people can't get out? Anyway. Oh, none of these have... I'm realizing none of these have doors. This has a door. This has a door. A lot of these don't have doors. This is like Uncanny Valley house. This is like something you'd see in an asset flip horror game that Markiplier plays for 15 minutes. Like, you're walking by houses with no doors on them. This is what I would expect to see in, like, the next Fallout if Bethesda gets really lazy. There's already plenty of houses in, like, Fallout 4 that you can't go into at all, and that's kind of a bummer. Alright, we're not doing row houses here. But hello. Thurmond Engine House. This is very similar to the car barn that we're using, or that I threw down over here as a reminder to myself to put in some like dead interurban stuff. Yeah, over here. It's very similar, but it's not the same. And I think it's different than the one that we're using over in Mason's Landing too. So that's interesting. October 5th about to be wild. I'll try to make it there. But I believe October 5th is my. We might be celebrating my mother's birthday that day, and uh, it's also Gloria's mom's birthday. So I don't have high hopes that I'm gonna make it for the Doodlebug chaos. However, you're welcome to go and cause a certain brand of Doodlebug chaos. Not too much, but you know enough. Um. Okay. Suburban house. Oh, this is a duplex. I don't want duplexes. Uh. Yeah. No. It's been. We've got an under construction house. I haven't. There isn't that much stuff under construction. Look, it's the name of the thing. In this section, so I'll leave something there, and then stables and coach house. This should go over here with the manor house. There we go. Small warehouse B. I'll put this in like this back lot because this is going to be like this is a police station, so they probably have some sort of backlot area here. A non-lethal amount of Doodlebug chaos. Yeah. I'm going to get distracted with that if I stare at it any longer. Hi, my love. Hi, baby. Do you need something? Did you figure out what's going on with the Court of Thorns and Roses thing?
Yeah, I sent you the link for the pay for the.
Okay, that's what that was. Okay, cool.
Um,
That's a little weird. I didn't expect the roof to come detached from the house. Okay.
Food bill.
What about food?
Are you hungry for anything?
I'm hungry. I'm not sure what I'm hungry for, and it's a little early for me to want something. Ooh, there's a lot of cool warehouses here. Also, we've got a one-room schoolhouse, which I think where do I put this? Because we got to put this somewhere.
You're gonna put it far, far away, like in Megamind. The shul house.
Yeah, the shul house. Well, we've got like the actual. This is going to be some sort of school right here. Like this is an older school, and then we have another school over here. So this is probably like the new elementary school. This actually reminds me of my elementary school. Um, and then this is probably the high school. Now the thing is, back in the day, right? This would have been somewhere, maybe along the main road. Like I want to put it over here. I want to put it over here, but it just doesn't fit over here. Um, I might want to put it on one of the roads leading into town. But the thing is, this area is built so much is built up so much that a building like this probably wouldn't have survived, unless I sort of stick it somewhere where it looks like it does not belong. Which might be like right here with like a little fence around it, and it's like this is where the schoolhouse this is the old municipal schoolhouse of whatever this was, because this was probably a third municipality. And we don't really have a name for that yet. Now I need to like plaster. Yeah, it needs to be in a really small town or left as a museum, and I'm thinking it's got to be as a museum in this area. But I might use it again in a really small town. If you want to order something like in an hour, if you can hold out that long, SAP cold storage warehouse. Hamburger. Okay. You're gonna get Wendy's? You're gonna get it delivered?
Probably, yeah.
It's right there though. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I don't know what I'm hungry for. You guys in the chat can tell me what I want to eat.
Don't do
Uh,
that.
Why? What do you think's gonna happen?
They're gonna put stuff in there that you don't.
You think too? I mean, okay, yeah, Dean is here. So, Dean, what should I eat? And Dean's gonna say like, I don't know, something inedible. A shoe.
Round meal.
Round meal. That's extremely edible, though. That is a, it feeds 3 men. Uh, Ice soup hitting different today, says Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
This one house is going to be set back from the copious amounts of corn, says, yo, it's Chris.
You.
Yeah, Gloria does not like corn.
Yeah, I don't.
There's too many, like, I downloaded too many things called Engine House and, like, Boiler House and whatever. It's true that there is no such thing. Coal-fired eggs. Delicious eggs. It's true that there's no such thing. Well, you need some meat. Now, I'm not a big fan of meatloaf, honestly. But at least that's edible. Like, I expected you to say something else. I don't know what, but something. I'm gonna eat Drake the Brick. Speaking of Drake, I just saw, oh, it's Dake, not Drake. Peterson and Dake. This is a cool building, though. Hello, Dragon. Okay. Nope, those are all apartment buildings. I want houses. This is not a house.
Looks like something Spider-Man swings off of.
Okay, we've got like an old west. What is this? Bathhouse. All right, that's not it. That's not helping.
Bathhouse.
Yeah, this is Spirited Away now. Old house. These are so low poly. This thing, it doesn't even have.
I cannot eat my son.
It doesn't even have like the inset here for where the actual roof is set back. It's a minimal poly house. Oh, this one does though. This one has like 2 more polygons. You need a "This Man Ate My Son" bumper sticker. They have them with like Ted Cruz. Okay. This house is hideous on all sorts of levels, but it's not like a bad house. Let's do this one. This New Zealand house, which is much, much older than the like minimal poly thing next to it, which I think I might just leave there just as a statement of fact of how bad it looks. These New Zealand houses are interesting because so many of them are like up on stilts, and that's not what I'm going for at all in this area. I saw a car in the wild at the Lancaster Aldi that had one of those and a ton of other memes too. I left them a note. That's baller. I think I've left a note on someone's car exactly once, and it was because they had a Rhode Island plate, and it was at RPI, so there were not very many of those. But it was, you know, I saw one and I went, oh, I want to get to know this person, so I left a note on there, and I never heard back. What? Oh. What were you just doing? What was that? What did you just do?
Nothing.
Did you take a bunch of pictures of yourself or
No.
something? What did you just do? Did you write something?
I was just fucking around with it.
What does that mean? What is this? What did you...
Yes.
That's how... Okay. I'm deleting this.
Okay.
I love you, but...
No butt.
Yeah.
No.
Because what was that thing that was like, I love you, but damn. I can't remember what it was. It was just a meme, and that was the whole thing. I think it was like a playlist called I Love You, but damn. Look how many lighthouses I have, and I'm not even on the shore anymore. Okay, we have a check house here. Which also, as far as I can tell, does not have a door on it. It doesn't. It doesn't have a door. That was supposed to be a joke. Why is there... Okay, there's that, which is bricked up. Don't laugh. That's not... The door... Dean says the door is what? Also, I love the LOD. If I step 5 feet away from this, the stairs disappear. It's like me whenever someone goes in the pool in The Sims. Alright, let's give this check house on the corner a little bit more room. AoE bricked up. The doorway is bricked up. That's not. Alright, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm gonna lie in this bed that I made. Uh, oh, I have Japan houses. Put a Japan house on the corner. Pokey. Okay. Drake.
I don't know if I can wait for you a bit.
Well, then don't wait for me. I don't know. I'll eat nothing. And cry. We also still have eggplant parm. I'll just eat some eggplant parm. I don't know. If it's still any good. In our poor fridge. Oh, I can get like a row of Japanese houses. That's fun. That's interesting. Um, Drake, my favorite president. House 1. Oh, it's QLD. I thought it said old. I've used this before. It's like a good beach house that does not go here. Now, the thing is, I'm doing my best here. Uh, you found the street where you got Drake from. That's fantastic. Oh, that's a sort of a McMansion. That's a large house. What about this? Realized Drake was in the image. You have Drake baby photos. I don't know if that counts as baby photos, but yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Baby photos. Well, I mean, I would assume Drake is in the image if it's a street view of the place where you stole a brick from. The bricks don't really tend to migrate very much. So when you moved it, it was probably only the second or third time it has ever been moved in its entire existence, unless you count the time it spent as clay in the ground. This is hideous. We're gonna have some McMansions somewhere, and it's not gonna be here, but goddamn. Um, I dare you to get one of those digital picture frames, and it's a slideshow of Drake. I saved him off the streets. Okay. More like under new management. Uh, yeah, you rescued him. You rescued him like Gloria wants to rescue the orange cat that hangs out on the street. Uh, we don't we don't know if Fred has an owner, or certainly even if his real name is Fred, but we know that he tried to come in the house that one time, and so Gloria thinks this is license to like let him in and then close the door behind him, and then we have another cat. Um, so that's not how that should. That's not how that's going to work. Um, let's do this. Let's just put these close together. I mean, the differing houses on this street, uh, like I'm glad that it's coming out like this, but God, we're gonna be here all night. I apologize. I'm gonna like I gotta try to make things interesting with what we're talking about. Like, was it last week that we spent like an hour and a half on lore? Because we can't really afford to do that again. But um, no, I did want to talk about lore, but I didn't want to talk about lore for this. I wanted to talk about the Dyson Sphere project, which is or Dyson 1920, which is sort of what I've termed my world building project that I intend to do nothing on. Um, it's a Dyson sphere, and the technological advancement level on the inside is about 1920ish. Like there's a world war on the horizon. We're not entirely sure where the people came from. They're not sure where they came from. Uh, they just live on the inside of this Dyson sphere, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a giant sphere that encircles an entire star at a distance with a radius of like one AU, which is the distance of the Earth to the sun. Um, Let me break this up a little bit because this block is going a little bit long. Um, and oops, another cat. No, we're not doing that. Uh, but yeah, you know what would go great over here actually? Like a sand lot. And I've been saying we need to have a sand lot. We have a baseball field over here, but we need like a proper sand lot, just like an empty space. Um, and I don't know where to put that, but it's got to be around here somewhere. Maybe like over here behind whatever the buildings are, up against the river. Um, but yeah, so there was, and it's a shame because it all escaped me, but I never had any delusions about writing it down anyway, so it's not a big deal. But uh, it was going to be like the capital of this one nation was Twin Cities, like Milwaukee, St. Paul, and uh, one was called Disma or something like that, or Disma. Um, and I know that sounds like the lead into a like Disma Nuts joke, but in seriousness, you're killing me, Smalls. Yeah, God, I love that movie so much. In seriousness, it would be spelled like dismay without the Y, and uh, later on in the book/books, some of the main characters would return to this capital city after the war has ravaged it and it's been mostly abandoned, maybe because of like some kind of drastic attack that has left it not uninhabitable, but difficult to inhabit. Maybe like serious like chemical bombing or something like that, or fire bombing with a lingering effect, right? And somebody will have painted a Y on the sign, and so the city is now named Dismay instead of Disma. Uh, Again, now that I say it out loud, it sounds an awful lot like Disma Nuts or something. So I'm not sure I can go with that, but I really want to because of that concept. But when you're writing, you can't really get attached to those little things. When you're writing, you've got to let go of the little things to make the big thing better. You have to kill your babies or whatever it is. Kill your darlings, babies. Kill your babies. Slaughter them. Doom music intensifies. House with workshop. House Victorian suburbs. House turret Victorian. Okay, that's another really nice house. Um, Now I'm hesitant to accidentally do like the SimCity thing where I just put a bunch of the big houses like next to one another nestled in a suburb that where they don't belong. Um, Part of me is figuring that this area would be a little bit more spread out and wealthy once upon a time. Uh, just started watching the full Yellowstone story. I'm already hooked less than 15 minutes into 1883. Nice. You gotta kill your... Well, listen. The point, like, okay. I mean, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Kill your darlings doesn't also sound very much better. In my own defense, uh, uh, listen, this context, I don't know, nothing, the context isn't real anymore. Uh, you have to kill your babies. It's like, aren't there like, there are certain animals that do that when like resources are scarce, so, I'll stand by it. Okay. Oh, we gotta turn this around. I really want to rewatch The Sandlot now. Don't worry about it, Matt. Okay. Let's put that there, taking up like this corner lot or something. Because this area would have been filled out kind of later, I would imagine, and this would have been sort of the vestige of single family housing that's a little bit further out there. Especially this. Okay, no, I think. Do I want to put this in front of the thing like it was? Yeah, okay, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. So, because of the roundabout, I'm going to move this to over there. And then, yeah, I actually probably want to bring this now. It's I'm having to take my brain back in time, right? The best way to do this is to sort of look at the world how it might have been and see if you can extrapolate from there. Um, to reach present time in your railroad, and then you can see how things got the way that they are. Uh, so if you have an arrangement like this, you sort of wind back the clock and you say, okay, well, what was here first? There was this road that went straight through that way, and this road that went straight through this way, that eventually like turned this way and headed out that way, right? Um, this is a relatively early bridge because it's stone, or as evidenced by. But there would have been another bridge over here whose existence is kind of lost to history. Um, that would have been the first bridge. I talked about this being the second one. And honestly, looking at what stuff is made of, either this one or this one may have been the third. And the reason that's so important is because your flow of people across a river is going to dictate where people can go. If there aren't a lot of connections between this side and this side, then the people that if this is like the wealthy part of South Bellington, I had to look at the compass, couldn't remember which way was south. If this was the wealthier part of South Bellington, but it never really grew its own legs, or rather, if it was a different town, and then it was merged into South Bellington, it was consumed by South Bellington, for one reason or another, that would be an interesting history. Um, and typing in chat, running an 85.5 mile long race in Crew 2. Nice. But I don't know if South Bellington would have had the political capital to do that, and if they had, why they would necessarily spend it on absorbing this. Now, the flip side of it is, if it wasn't a hostile takeover and it was done so that they could have like combined sewer system or whatever like that. Like South Bellington probably took over another town. The way the crossroads are laid out in this area, this was probably an independent settlement before before it became part of South Bellington, and now it is part of South Bellington. Now the thing is, we need to put something down that makes that clear. Let me be clear. Now, what that's going to be is a little bit up for grabs. But we need to find some. You know what? It's going to be the schoolhouse. We're going to name the schoolhouse. We're going to name. What is this? Dell's School. Okay. 1886 Dell's School. Now, I assume Dell's is the name of the place. It's also an inferior kind of lemonade. So do I just call this place Dell's? Could. I don't really see why we shouldn't. But South Bellington absorbed the town of Dell's. Now, the only problem is if we use that building somewhere else, but honestly, it's not that much of a problem. But the schoolhouse is probably one of the only remnants of that. And the other thing is, it probably shouldn't be over here then. It should probably be, well, so here's the question. If we look at the town of Dells, just in a vacuum, right? We've got some larger houses over here. That's what I'm sort of aiming at. Larger houses on this side of the river. One bridge to cross the river, which probably would have been this one. This would have been the original bridge. It looks like it's subsequently been replaced. And then a road that comes down here, and this honestly should then go straight. But it doesn't. and your commercial district would have been over here, but you don't really have a commercial district. What you have is a couple of places where farmers are. No, all of this development would have been post railroad. So you have the town of Dells. The town of Dells is this street, this roundabout, this road with the bridge over the creek, right? And that's important. Um, and and the roundabout is the center of town, right? So you're probably going to put your schoolhouse at or close to the center of town. You're also going to need a church. You're also going to need a couple of commercial buildings, but maybe like a general store that's just barely hanging on. The town of Dells. And this would have been a very small place back in the 1800s, early 1800s. So we'll put the Dells schoolhouse here on the riverbank. And we also probably want a church or two. Or maybe specifically one, because there may be a reason that Dells as a town exists distinct, or existed distinct from the from South Bellington there, from the Bellingtons in general. I'm just gonna get rid of this. I still think we should have like a, what is this? Oh yeah, that's right. We have to put the sheets down somewhere. I'm probably gonna put the sheets over here, off the side of the highway. I might even give it some gas pumps, but I kind of wanted it to just be a standalone convenience store because the gas pumps aren't going to look right with it. Because it's a very modern building, I just felt like we needed a Sheetz. Because frankly, everyone needs a Sheetz. Like, that's just the way that it is. Now, the other thing I'd like to do while we're over here, now that I'm staring at this, right? I want to throw down a spline point there and a spline point there. I want to remove the gradient on both of them because I want this rise to be real. I want this rise to be real. Now, this, though, this has got to be lower. There we go. Honestly, Matt, I can't tell you how much I miss Sheetz. And when I look back at the West Virginia trip, one of the things I look back on most fondly is stopping at Sheetz with you. Especially on the way down, because that was such a fun drive. It wasn't that it in and of itself was a fun drive, even though it was. It was the fact that I had, Gloria and I had driven by ourselves to that point, and finally we had someone to link up with. Yes, Sheetz, MK. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. So. You've never been to a Sheetz. I mean, that is kind of sad. It was a long time before I got to a Sheetz. In fact, I can't even really remember the first time that I went, but they have Wawas around there. I've heard Wawa's pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie. I know there's like the Sheetz Wawa rivalry. I can't really make a stand like genuinely because I don't think I've ever been to a Wawa. But I definitely appreciate Sheetz for what it is. The pretzel bun hot dogs, I love that. I love that a lot. I'm right at the bottom of Sheetz Rain. I think you mean, like, I don't think rain is the word that you're looking for there, but I get what you mean. MK, you don't have to answer Matt if you don't want. Okay, there you go. You can just dox yourself. Honestly, I want to know, because this was a discussion that was being had in the Horseman not too long ago. Do you like, as someone who lives in New Jersey, do you like New Jersey? Because most of the people I've met that you shouldn't be scared of anything. You're from Jersey. Yeah, coastal Jersey. No, you don't like Jersey. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna mark that one down. I'm gonna mark that one down. So the folks that I went to school with that are from Jersey, they all love Jersey. Um, and it's interesting to see that split. I mean, I suppose it's true everywhere, right? The people that love their state are the people that hate their state. There are, and it depends on a lot of things. I feel like your general, whether you like your state or not, it it depends a lot on your general outlook on living in that state. Like if you're having a rough time, just staying alive and all that, making money and putting food on the table, you're probably not going to like your state no matter what your state is. Um, you're more inclined to be frustrated with the state of affairs, right? Uh, I have no car. I do have no car, and that does weigh things. Mm. Yeah, I mean, Central Coastal Jersey doesn't sound like the most car-free kind of place that you can be. I mean, Jersey in general is one of the densest states in the U.S. If there's anywhere you could get away with it, it's probably there. But Jersey kind of fumbled the bag politically when they didn't sort of all band together and create a strong like central place and have existed as a satellite of Philadelphia and New York for their entire life, for their entire existence. Um, and part of it isn't totally their fault. I mean, they kind of got beat around economically by New York in like the 1700s, but you know, New Jersey not having a sort of main city, right? And there are some candidates, but they're not economic powerhouses even close to what their neighbors are, and that really makes a difference. Um, that really makes a difference. It makes a difference in a lot of ways, not the least of which being just plain like concentrated density and transit and accessibility, but also in just the way that the tax base is. Um, and it has a lot of knock-on effects. I would imagine. I'm not someone who's an expert on these things. I just read a lot of stuff. Uh, New Jersey only exists as Camden to me. See, um, you'd have the same issues with your old home in Virginia, but it's so much more beautiful there. Yeah, I don't blame you for having that outlook. Um, New Jersey is unassumingly pretty in some cases. Like there are areas of Jersey that are pretty in the way that you wouldn't expect out of New Jersey, right? Certainly don't come to mind, but that's because they're not the majority of the state. Um, Most of what people think of when they think of Jersey is like, yeah, Camden or Trenton or like I mean, people think of the Jersey Shore, I guess, but that's a bit of a horse of a different color. Um, and then pretty is in battleships or skyscrapers. No, no, no. I'm saying like pretty is in like the Pine Barrens. Hello, Icer. Gonna get any rain from that hurricane that I'm dealing with now? Want some casual flooding? Oh, I always have. Don't worry, my basement is always casual flooding. That's its emotion. Um, I could name an entire chapter of Frank and Frank memoirs, casual flooding. Um, but Dirty Jersey Street and then the shore. Yeah, no, it is. New Jersey is a land of contrasts, right? Uh, but New Jersey gets a lot of hate that should honestly be directed at Connecticut instead. Um, at least in New Jersey, you sort of know who everyone roots for. Like, it's just the Giants, pretty much. Uh, and because nobody roots for the Jets, like nobody. Uh, Jersey for me is just Southern Jersey because that's the only good part. The rest is New York. Honestly, it it is. Well, that's the thing. It is. Northern New Jersey is inextricably tied to New York City, and that's just there's no two ways about that. I mean, they couldn't break that lease if they wanted to. Connecticut is weird. Uh, I agree. Connecticut is a. I don't know why Connecticut is still allowed to exist. They tried to steal like 2/3 of Rhode Island back in the day, and we had to get the king when he was relevant. We had to get the king to settle that one. Um, King George, not Elvis, although that would have been much more entertaining, honestly. Uh, it's like we should abolish Connecticut. Gonna put some splines of wildflowers in that grass. No, because it's gonna be covered in trees. I would if it wasn't. I honestly, a wildflower spline is a really nice touch. It's something that I usually don't think about because it's just another layer of grass on top of whatever, and I don't have a wildflower spline that I really like. I'd have to go looking. But it's a good thing to think about. It's a nice touch. So I like where your head's at, Iser. Um, so we skip over the fact that France and Britain fought over Ohio for 7 years. Yeah, and the loser got to keep Ohio. Um, don't get me started on Toledo. Um, a splash of color in the green. Yeah. Well, we're gonna get the a splash of monochrome anyway. It usually looks like this, but I don't expect anyone to go digging too far into these forested areas. I just need to get the grass set up so you can't see through the trees. Um, Now in here I could throw down some wildflowers. It might be nice to come through and let's see. Search filter, search filter. Flower, wildflowers. Let's see. Let's just throw this down and see if it stands out at all. Just the tiniest bit. That's not great. Let's see if there's another one. Mixed flowers. Oh, look at these. Okay, those are maybe a little bit too intense. If Virginia had the original Ohio Territory, yeah. Okay, that's the other one was too subtle. This is too not subtle. Grass with blue flowers. Yeah, yeah. The problem is it's just getting buried in the grass. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's a nice thought. Anyway, oh, and here's like a spline of very sad looking wildflowers. Now here's the thing. Like this that level of detail is perfectly fine right alongside your main line. And honestly, maybe in an area like this, it's actually more warranted. I'm just not somebody who digs that deep because I've got a huge amount of work to do, and as much as I would love to spend a lot of time doing flowers here and there, I can't stop and smell the roses. It's really a shame. Let's go back to scrapbook data. Jump over to woods. Ground height none. Texture none. Meshes overwrite. So let's be careful not to delete the police station here. And then effect layers none, because I don't think I put any effect layers in this. That's what I do every time, but okay. Okay, so we didn't accidentally delete the building, and we'll be able to shift those trees around to where we need them. Let's put this in here. Okay. Oop. Okay, I didn't delete a house. That's nice. All right, back into Surveyor Classic then, because we gotta do some tree trimming now. We can't let the trees get too close to the backs of people's houses. Can't let it get too out of hand here. Hope you put some dandelions in someone. Hope you can put some dandelions in someone's yard in this town. Yeah, that would be a fun one. Honestly, I could do some flower beds and things if I really get down to it. It's just it gets tougher to spend a little bit of time on these houses when I've got so many houses to do. I love the details. I just don't expect anyone to really come into this route and go like, wow, look at all the incredible detail. It's supposed to be an okay route that's just really big. And I have gotten some compliments on the scenery before, and you know, I, I I'm obviously thankful for them. I appreciate them. I'm not. I don't think they're misplaced at any rate. Uh, but it isn't a route that I'm going into in order to get the scenery right. I've never been much for scenery. The people that have seen my previous routes know that scenery is like, you know, it's towards the bottom of the list. In fact, it might be at the bottom. I really need water. I get a little lump in my throat. In terms of getting stuff, and I mean scenery is a huge, like, all-encompassing descriptor, right? Um, Scenery. This is scenery. That's scenery. All this is scenery. The terrain you could fold under scenery. Personally, I don't. Uh, Thank you. Personally, I don't because I take a lot of care with my terrain. At least I like to think so. Um, but you know, this is this is all scenery, and it's more about, maybe it's wrong to say that I don't. Excuse me. Maybe it's wrong to say that I don't care about scenery that much, when the fact of the matter is I care about it a lot. Thank you. I care about the sort of, what's the word? I care about things without caring about the details. It's not. It's the broad strokes. It's the getting right. The this goes here and this goes here, and even just like the realism of uh, having a bunch of different kinds of houses. And there are areas where we don't. There are areas where we have, um, well, row houses, for example. They're kind of the elephant in the room with this town, but also having the like the Sears catalog houses, company houses, that sort of thing. That's up in Lionhead. Um, there's stuff like that, and then having the right housing in the right areas, as opposed to just throwing on 50 houses. Make it look good. I still want to do at least one more block of that over there before we're done today, but I'm not sure. The other thing is, we've got a bunch of stuff over here. We've got this big graveyard, which is going to be a ton of like fiddly work um, to get that done. I'm not super jazzed about it, but it's a big graveyard. It belongs. Um, and we honestly probably need another small graveyard over here somewhere. Now, I've talked about how in Rhode Island we have little historical cemeteries everywhere because, in part because of Roger Williams and his insistence on freedom of religion, which is good and based, but it led to some unusual knock-on side effects with regards to where they put dead people. For many years in the state, it was a long time before we had a sort of state burial ground, because there wasn't a state religion. When I say state, I don't necessarily just mean U.S. state. I mean like the government of the territory, if you will. Because it was Roger Williams's Providence Plantations, with freedom of religion as like the number one thing, because he got thrown out of Massachusetts because he didn't want to be a Puritan. Which, for the record, is lame and boring. So I don't blame him, like, why he didn't want to do that. So anyway, okay, place spline with select asset. Ah, wrong way around. Okay. Nope. Where is the other end of this? I thought that. No, no, there's not. Hold on. Let me just connect this to this then, because that seems like something that I should have done a while ago. So there's your Rhode Island history lesson for today. Honestly, there was a Rhode Island history thing, oops, that I wanted to talk about. It came up in the server earlier today, um, regarding the name. All right, it was in the busiest channel on the server, Northern's thread. Um, all right, insert spline point here. What? What? Why did it delete that? Oh, okay. All right, it's back now, I guess. Uh, wait, what do you mean separate splines? What do you mean separate splines? What else is attached to this? There's nothing over there. There's something's screwy. Um. Anyway, the state of Rhode Island got its name for a reason. No one's entirely sure why. It could have been an homage to the Isle of Rhodes, because Giovanni Verrazzano, the explorer, thought he found something that looked like the Isle of Rhodes, and so he decided to name the place after that. Or maybe it was because the rocks looked kind of red. There's a huge hole. There's some huge holes in that theory, by the way. But it really just underscores that Giovanni di Verrazzano was actually just not all that observant. He wasn't a great explorer. He just wasn't good at his job. Um, he he missed like a bunch of huge bays on the East Coast. This is written out in the Rares of Rhode Island book, for the record, so I can't like claim ownership of what I'm saying out loud, but it's a really sort of fascinating look at the man and his attempt to find a route to the Pacific, and instead stumbling across a weirdly shaped island, or it may have just been that it was kind of reddish, or it may have been that there were like pirates, and it was called Rogues Island and not Rhode Island, uh, and then the like name morphed over time. There's a lot of that in history. Hold on. Nope. 50-50 shot. Always get it wrong. Twice. Always get it wrong twice. There we go. Scoot that over there. We can tank aspects of modern science to a pirate. Well, they really thought the laws of physics were more like guidelines, so. Okay. We've got that crossing done. And this is why I do these things, and then I'm so afraid I'm going to have to mess with them again. I don't want to mess with it again. It's good. Like, I'm done. I'm done fiddling with it. Especially with these things where I'm jumping back and forth between Surveyor Classic and Surveyor 2, and I am it was named Rhode Island because he rode around on his boat. Nice. Uh, Especially, yeah, where I'm jumping back and forth and I'm having to throw in, like, spline points over here. Because, look, like, if I go back into Surveyor... Oh, wait, I hit the wrong thing. Again. Yeah, I wanted to settle those on the ground, and now they're all wonky, but I needed them to be on the ground, and the easiest way for me to do that is to come in here and to make sure that they are not, like, in advanced mode or whatever you call it. Oh, that's track. No wonder why I can't grab it. I appreciate the rode around on his boat dad joke probably more than I should. Okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. And we'll put some spline points on this side. And I don't intend to build this intersection right now, but it's probably something to, like, remember to do in the short-term future. I also definitely want to throw in another spline point here to help out with the grades on this. so that I can grab this and then put it there and then put it there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. This roundabout is the bane of my existence. I'm glad we have it though. It provides it. The fact that this roundabout is there is helping me formulate the lore for this town, um, in the way it existed before it became part of South Bellington. Dells, Dells. I wish that had a. It was a. I wish it was renameable. Sorry about that. Okay, so do we want to try to throw down like a set of row houses here? The other thing I've got to do is at some point is start putting down the multiple industries and figuring out what everything does. Um, they did an update. The industry UI didn't get any better. We talked about that last time, I think. And oh well, I'm just gonna have to carry on, and I'm gonna have to use the multiple industries that have their own UI, and not worry about, and basically just ignore the UIs that are, or basically just ignore the industries that don't have that, which it kind of torpedoes my original thought process of using the original like baked in industries, but at the same time, I really shouldn't want to do that because they're not very good. Um, like the original industries are great for nostalgia, but you really should want to build something with multiple industries and industry links, and just go nuts from there because you've got so much more flexibility. Um, like yeah, the other ones are pretty drag and drop, just like click and go, and you've got functional industries. There's nothing wrong with doing that, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to do that because it's easy. And if you want to just, if you're not like wanting to spend so long digging into making industries, the base industries are perfectly fine. But I am so not. I feel like I can go beyond, right? I built this to go beyond. I didn't want to just use the regular commodities. So um, the more that we like, this is a oh no, this is like a mansion sort of thing. Put it in the pile of mansions. Also, there's too many warehouses. Okay, we've got a brick house anyway. Ba-da-da-da. Okay, let's put this guy over here. This is the first one with a driveway that comes with it. Now the other ones we're going to have to give driveways. This area is probably not old enough where driveways are an afterthought, right? But, oh, I'm scrolling up instead of down. Okay, so we'll put you there. We've got some brick houses in a row here. Now, I don't want to get too carried away with one particular kind of house, but once we sort of get through the whole list, then I'll be able to grab and scroll and, just sort of make my life a little bit easier. I'll have this being a kind of physical pick list. And then these guys being back to back alongside this road here. This connection, this cut through. And honestly, I should probably throw down another one right here that breaks that in half. Because we could have some fairly small blocks here. There just doesn't really need their, like, yeah, okay. Yeah, and because life is fractal, right? Um, I can just throw down a road that goes this way. And I honestly think I'm going to need to jump into Surveyor 2 and scoot it over a little bit. I didn't want these blocks to be perfectly square, but there we are. And some people are going to be living off of just dirt roads, or this gravel road anyway, which isn't really out of the question. It's certainly not for the era. It's okay. Hold on, right there. Certainly not for the era. It's probably more than acceptable. I wish I knew when some of the roads around me were paved. Alright, so we'll be able to fit houses along that road there. Now, the question is, where do I put these, like, wealthier houses? I mean, we've got, and they're probably, they should maybe just be along this road here. There's some streets in New Orleans. This makes me think of some streets in New Orleans that were like this. It was just like all incredibly nice houses. All just like, I say mansions, but when I say mansions, I think like Newport mansions, and it doesn't have to be a Newport mansion to be a mansion, right? It doesn't have to be like a 60 bedroom building that, you know, that it takes servants like 3 months to get ready for, or 3 weeks to get ready for people to come in for a few months as a summer home or whatever, and that's extrapolating the sort of metaphor a lot further than it needs to go. But the point is, like, this is a mansion. This is a mansion. This is not the Breakers, but this is a mansion. This, by some respects, is a mansion. Like, it's a big house. It's a nice house. But like a 3-story tall Victorian house is a mansion, right? Oh, and I closed the thing out again. Nope. Stop clicking that. Search filter. Oh, that looks like my childhood home. Oh, well, maybe you lived in a mansion. No, but in seriousness, I mean, this was a style, and these aren't altogether that large, but it certainly has the mansion look, right? Um, any updates on the abandoned plantation? Yeah, I found a carriage house for it. That's about it. I moved it over. I moved it over from there to here, to line up with this road here, and I'm sort of building this world around it. Wow, 7 people. That's a lot of people in one house. This is quite nice, but it's a little modern. Also, the way that chimney is, look how big that chimney is. Well, there's usually not shingles in a chimney, but it's like the Sims level of house design. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, when I think about it, right, this place had 5 people in it growing up. Also, this is like a Wednesday Addams. This is an Addams Family house. I mean, look at this. Like, this is the kind of house that is gonna, like, eat you, like literally eat you, like Monster House style, right? So that's got to be on this road. The trick or treaters, they either don't come here, or this person has full size candy bars, or they do come here for the full size candy bars and they stay because they're locked in the basement. Sims, where you don't have to get building permits to remodel, redesign your home. Yeah, you can just do whatever you want. Me on my way to remove the ladder from the that's the second time I made that joke today. But yeah, I mean, 7 people is quite a few people, right? Or 6 people even. But we had 5 growing up in this house. And I didn't grow up here. My father did, but he had 5 people living here when he was a kid. It was him and his 2 sisters and his parents. And I don't even know if that was it. I mean, there may have been another person that hasn't been mentioned to me. There may have been a lost sibling. We don't talk about him. He lives in the walls. But you know, what? I think I want to move this house to this corner. Move this one to this corner. Yeah, 6 people. What is privacy, right? 5 people live in here. It has 1 bathroom. We've got 1 bathroom. So yeah, it do be like that. Even at the peak, we had 4 people living here while I was here. I feel like we had 5 at one point, but I'm not sure about that. Um, you know, I had my own room for a period of that time. Well, it's nice to have your own room, especially when the rest of the house is very shared, right? Um, being an only child, I never didn't have my own room, and I don't. Well, I'm I'm not going to say that like I never knew what it's like to share a room because I shared a dorm room in college. So it broke me out of the idea that like, oh, my space, totally sacred, whatever. Um, and I didn't really have that tough of a time transitioning uh, to sharing a space like that, but I could definitely understand. Uh, I could definitely understand sort of the expectation that I might. Um, and I'm surprised that, looking back, I'm surprised that it didn't feel difficult. One of the things was, though, that my roommates were fairly, most of them kept to themselves. Well, the first one kept to himself quite well, and that really eased me into to having to share that space. Um, Even if we were physically like 6 feet away from one another, we didn't really talk. It was kind of interesting. It was kind of weird looking back, but it wasn't weird in the moment because it wasn't like, wow, this guy doesn't talk to me. It's like, oh, thank God, this like I'm being left alone. Uh, and I'm sure he felt not that way because I am not that way. Uh, but it's been quite a bit. Uh, Obviously I share everything. I share everything with Gloria now, and of course the dog and the cat who are both around here somewhere. But it's get home. Oh no, no, not the giant stilts. Um, let's see. Do we have like a Sears bungalow in here? Also, look how tightly I packed these houses. That's something I need to do over here, because these guys are even a little bit more spread out. I bet I can fit another house in here. Um, and we'll see when we start doing the driveways, right? Um, have you considered a now closed quarry? Ooh, I haven't, but that's a really good idea. That will have to be somewhere else. So, I mean, there's going to be plenty of quarries up this way. I would imagine that's where the aggregate for the thing comes from. Um, Personally, I haven't thought about um, like making a closed one, but yeah, Mr. President, a third Frank, making a closed one, but it wouldn't necessarily be out of the question. I mean, stuff comes and goes, right? Um, so this is like a boarding house sort of thing. I should, I should put this along this road so that it has the backyard of it taken up by the railroad track. Although the backside of it is honestly windowless and weird, so I don't know. No, I think it's fine where it is. This is a nice building. Tomb stuff is pretty nice. Um, abandoned industries are fun to model and take forever to finish. I've found they take about as long as an active industry, but the kicker is when you're done with it, you don't get to do anything with it. Um, that's the problem with abandoned industries. Uh, and I spent all that time building what would effectively be, I think, one of the most interesting switching puzzles on the entire railroad, um, which is, and let's go visit it just to get a feel for it. Uh, the the tank factory, I guess, not necessarily an actual tank factory, but this. It doesn't do anything. It is a big building on top of a hill that was built and then was abandoned when its usefulness wore out. Um, it it doesn't do anything. I don't know what else to say. It is like, look at all this. This is some of the densest industry track work on the entire map. You've got one, two, three, four, five sidings to deal with. Not to mention if you have cars spotted down here, and this little runaround and you know, this really tight area to work in. Honestly, you'd probably have something spotted down here too. Um, but it doesn't do anything. And I don't think I regret making it. Uh, but yeah, it makes for fun. It's like a railroad industry, right? Yeah, no, exactly. I don't think I regret making it, but I don't love the fact that it's here. It sort of is overlooking this whole thing, and to get to it, even you've got to go up here. Oh, sorry, no, sorry for the stutteriness. The switch to it is down here, and you go up this way, and like this is just a stub end now, but it's got this very modern looking bridge over that pipe, which honestly I should change. Um, to this to then go up here, right? So it's a very interesting thing to switch, but no one is ever going to switch it because it's abandoned. And that's kind of, you know, that's kind of a problem because it's the most interesting switching here. Like straight up, it's the most interesting switching here. And the other stuff is you've got these industries. You've got this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 if you count that one, 5, 6, 7 spurs for industries that are disconnected. There's a lot over here that is no longer served or no longer rail served. And it's missed opportunities. um, it could have really been something. And I've talked about building a munitions plant here, and I think this right, no, not this. This right here was going to be a munitions plant, or is, or maybe will be, I don't know. Um, but, you know, if I have all these abandoned industries, then what am I doing? Like, they're set dressing and not a functional railroad. I want a functional railroad. And now, that doesn't matter as much. Oh, that doesn't matter as much here as it does in an actual railroad or in an actual model railroad, in a real model railroad. You know, this is not a real model railroad. This is a fake model railroad. This is the kind of thing where um, if I don't put something in, like at the end of the day, the most important thing is filling the space, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the industry functions or not. The space is filled and it's done. Like, there's a good reason to have abandoned stuff. There is a good reason to have something in a space, right? Have something in a space uh, that is just filling the space and isn't a functional operating industry. Like, it's not the end of the, like, we're building a lot of suburbs. We're building a lot, like, all of this, this doesn't have a purpose. This doesn't have a purpose. Like, beyond filling out the space and filling out the world, it doesn't have a purpose. And the tank factory is the same way. It doesn't have a reason to be there for the sake of the operation of the railroad. And that's something that I look at that and I go, that could be a functional industry. But at the same time, not every industry has to be functional, but every space has to be filled. So at the end of the day, no matter what, something has got to go in that space, whether it's woods or houses or a factory or a farm or whatever. Something has to go there. You're not just going to leave a big empty space. And if all of the stuff that was inactive is just going to be sort of folded into, if all the stuff that is inactive is just going to be sort of folded into the you just like turn it into woods, right? Then you're not, you're not building a world. You're just building a bunch of industries, and anything that's not a functional industry just can, it doesn't need to show up. You don't need to see it. That's not what you want to happen. That's not how you build a world. That's not how the world works, right? There's tons of abandoned stuff everywhere. There's tons of disused stuff everywhere. There's stuff that gets moved from, from being trucked to being rail served and back again. There are things that open and then close in spurts. In a real world, you will have closed industries. And so I can't get on it too much. I can't get too concerned about, well, if I'm spending the time to build an industry, it should be functional. No. If I'm spending the time to build anything, it should fit into the world. And sometimes an abandoned industry fits. Uh, lots of former inns. I would love to see an old inn in the hills or along a river, a rural place, even just a foundation of one, even a former trolley line going to a hilltop inn, a little random. We could also have a trolley line going to, or a former trolley line going to a trolley park. In fact, if we pull open the map really quick, this would be an interesting opportunity to write something down for later. Because we talked last time about the abandoned interurban, the former interurban that used to serve the valley or the plains out here, the stuff this way. The Mansfield Branch Railroad loosely paralleled an interurban that went, and let me share the screen here. Loosely paralleled interurban that went out from Bellington and South Bellington to Cobra and to Mansfield and Douglas. It didn't go to Randall, but that's because it just went the other way around. Now, if we have, it gives the opportunity for something like a hilltop inn or a trolley park in one of these locations. And the most entertaining one to me would be in Cobra. Because there are two things in Cobra. Because if we were to go through this, two things in Cobra. There's a military base and an amusement park. And I can't think of anything funnier than the juxtaposition between a military base and an amusement park. There's probably a booth next to the tilt-a-whirl where you can join the army, right? And they just truck you across the street. They look for the people that don't throw up when they get off the roller coaster, and they say you can be a fighter pilot. And yeah. So we're gonna put an amusement park in Cobra. Former trolley park that still remains. There's a former theme park. Unique circular trolley plot still stands. Paratrooper ride hitting different. Yeah, more models of the series lost for. I think if I go into my ideas doc, we haven't. Excuse me. We actually don't have like a theme park planned on here. That's kind of weird. That's kind of a bummer actually, because we never made it to the part where we would say that. Mansfield Branch Railroad, and honestly, I can probably kind of nuke this because once we seed everything, once we nuke the AI and seed everything, it should become fairly apparent what's gonna go where. Army Air Station Cobra. There is also an amusement park, former trolley park in Cobra, next to the base. Okay, so we got that. Yeah. You can have fun like this in the core. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, it would be even funnier if like half of the ignore the fact that I also have OpenTTD open. Like the crossover between the people that work at the military base and the people that work at the amusement park I really would love to see that Venn diagram. It'd be extremely funny. Um, okay. Police house. Can I put this across the street from the police station? No. No, I should put this somewhere else, though. Do we have a police station here? I don't actually think that we do. Um, so I should probably put this somewhere. I have the fire station here. Do we want to, like, put these things all next to one another? Because that would sort of make sense. Um, I'm in class with a guy who's 22, former Marine, worked in an amusement park, and is a huge weeb. Very interesting. Um, I don't know where to put a police station. All right. Good night, Night Rider. Hope to see you at the annual picnic. Um, okay, let's put the police station down here then. Let's put it on this corner, I guess. The police house. Um, a police house sounds like where you stage bust. Yeah, like actually, this is like Chris Hansen's waiting in here. Um, also, holy moly. Okay, it comes with grounds and a pool. Yeah, I've looked at that before. Um, range target house. Hold on, go back. What was that? This is... Oh, I already put this down. This is like a... Never mind. Thought it was going to be kind of blown up. Rooftop antenna set for row houses. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to go through and put antennas on all the row houses. Okay. We can probably just go off of the... probably just go off of the assemblage of houses that we have now. And just sort of like, okay, I'll grab this one and then I'll go... you know, and scroll up until I find one that I actually want. And that'll keep it shaken up a little bit. This, yeah, I probably want a stretch of trees down the middle here, or at least some bushes with trees in them. But I don't want anything with a garage for the most part. There's a couple of minor exceptions to that. But for the most part, I don't want anything with a garage because these houses may well have predated anyone needing a garage, right? So let's grab one of these New Zealand houses. Look for one that isn't too high off the ground. Okay, wait, modern house. Some of these are okay. Some of these are okay to, like, drop in as, you know, not necessarily modern houses. Interesting to look at all the shingles, though. Different shingles. Okay, so we've got some houses in here. And then I want to put some houses here as well. Although, this might be the opportunity to throw in, like, a sandlot, because if I fence off an area, right, if I fence off an area and just sort of leave it empty, that there's a sandlot. There's your sandlot. Okay. We're also looking at other stuff here. I'm gonna go just take a glance at the physical pick list and see if there's anything else that jumps out at me. But I didn't really put any big houses in here, so it's not a serious thing. Then this Corn Products International. Yeah, so we've got that. This is definitely, you can get some, what is that? Molasses. Well, we're probably not going to be using that because if I go into here and I look at the thing, oh, I can actually set the rate manually. Oh, right, because it's got an old thing. Otherwise, I have to use this, which is just straight up unusable. I'm looking forward to setting up and being able to switch out all of these industries, though. And this, honestly, I'm not sure what my goal was here, but I think I was going to put in a way to load or unload from this. Just don't remember what exactly I was going to do. This track here honestly might just be storage, and that might be like what it was destined to be. But we'll see. We're still not exactly done with this, and this is my white whale right now. So let's continue pressing on this. Get the grass down under the houses. Which this is just like, it's the perfect grass for lawns. I could vary it, I could mess with it, but honestly, it's a North American lawn. It's gonna look like this, unless it's mine, in which case it looks like a jungle. I need to get out there and mow, but it's either been raining or too damn hot. Okay, so we're just gonna fill this in. I think I am gonna leave an empty lot there, though. We definitely have all the buildings we need in these areas. So that grass is the next thing. Detextura. Let's put, let's just do this. And then what I want to do is I want to put in a nice tall fence around this. But like one that was nice, because I want it to have been, I need one that you can't see through, and it's got to be quite nice looking. Because this would have been like where, yeah, okay, I'm going to use this Carson Material Yard fence. This is sort of like the fence that I like to use, that's just like the red maple or whatever. But, yeah. So I'm going to bring this back to here. And then honestly, I think that it's going to intersect with a wall that goes around that mansion right there. So let's clear this out and go with wall. Walled stone wall. This is probably not tall enough. Yeah, no, I'd like something taller than this. That's too low. What about this? DS wall brick. Okay, that sort of looks more like a prison yard than a fancy house. So let's not do that. Although, I could use that for something else because of how it looks. No, I need something just slightly more ornate than that, but it's going in the right direction. Yeah, there we go. Let's get some ivy up on these walls. Okay. So, there. Honestly, I think what I might do is I might pull this along here. Just say that these guys had their wall built all the way around the piece of property that they owned. So they didn't have to look at the people that didn't own a mansion. This is going to tuck into here. So right in this corner, this reminds me of a place. I don't remember what like the region exactly was of Rhode Island, but I know that the street name was Chachapacasset. So, yeah. If you want a fun underpass bridge ideas, there's a bridge in Lima that has a Berkshire on it, as well as B&O, L&W, NW logos, plus the Lima Locomotive Works on both faces. Okay. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not going to be texturing anything to make it look like that, but it's important to do an appropriate share of, like, overpasses and underpasses. And I don't think I have an underpass here in town yet, and I should probably... Oh, wait, no, well, no, I take that back. I do have underpasses. They're along the section of railroad that is elevated. And we do have to work on those at some point as well. So this person has this very unusually shaped yard, and I will give them a pull-through driveway. that goes like this. Come on, work with me here. It's very new. Well, that's cool that it's got all the logos on it then. Oh, shoot. Alright. Alright. Let's set this like that. And now we've got our pull-through driveway here. And honestly, I am tempted to make this whole area in the middle gravel. But this is where I would put some flowers, so let's do that. Okay, that's not exactly the manicured flower bed that I was hoping for. That's definitely not either. Mixed flowers. Actually, we could use these. But they look like garbage, so I don't want to. Come on, let's see. I do remember having trouble with getting some good sort of flower splines last time I tried to do this. Part of it is some of them are just too wide, some of them are too narrow, and the rest of them, oh wow, that's super wide. And the rest of them just don't look very good. So I think I'll just go with this. So we've got dandelions, or whatever they are. I assume they're dandelions. All right, there we go. There we go. We got some flowers now. How about that? And then, yeah, we're gonna have to figure out fencing for the rest of these. I mean, if there's anything that's consistent, it's people putting up fences, right? Sorry, the pace has slowed down. I've taken a bit of a pause. We should probably just jump over to something else because I'm so distracted. But at the very least, we can do some more concrete driveways first and see if we can, in fact, fit another house or several. Two hours ago, I showed up on the tail of stream again, didn't I? Yeah, we're here for about another half an hour. I'm hesitant to start very much that's new. The only thing that I really want to do is like start ripping apart the AI, but I'm not mentally prepared for that. Yeah, we're gonna have to scoot all these over. There's too much room in between these houses. But it's okay. You didn't miss altogether too much. I've just been trying to get done this little section here. Okay. Why are we ripping apart the AI? Because it just don't work no more. And we're getting living railroad, so I don't really need to attempt the thing that I've been trying to attempt. It's probably better to leave Tolbrand at the end of this section in a state where it can be used for in a state where it might be able to be used for things like op sessions in multiplayer and or via iPortals than it is to leave it in the sort of attempted automation. Yeah. You did miss the discussion on why abandoned industries is important. And what's really fun about the discussion is that was me sort of working it through as I was thinking about it. I'm not sure if that was super clear, but you know, the fact of the matter is I've built abandoned industries here, there, and everywhere. There's a couple in this town. There's one in the room with us right now. Uh, the whole, the whole shtick of like building an abandoned industry is spending time and space on something that could be useful is just straight up undercut by the idea that you don't need everything in your railroad to be useful, and in fact, it's important that you have plenty of stuff that isn't. We haven't been in route layer this whole time. Well, I know what we're doing for the rest of the day. Gosh darn it. Well, that's what I get for being distracted when I tried to get started. How did I not, how did I not, how did I, Uh, how did I get this far and not realize it? How did I not set it at the beginning? I was in such a, I was in such a groove to this point. I was so ready to just start throwing down extra houses and more things. Now I need to remember what the hell all I put down today, which is quite a lot of stuff. It's a lot of houses. Um, but we'll also be able to fold down the seed and auto layers into one thing. Now, if there's anything I'm going to leave automated, it's going to be the isolated stuff like the the transit company. And I will sort of do another thing to check to make sure that still works. Currently, it probably doesn't, though, because the AI is very confused as they've been iterating on it to, I suppose, get it ready for Living Railroad. Now, you said Living Railroad, question mark. Living Railroad is, if I were to jump over to an industry right now, which I'm not going to because I'm not going to, I have to focus on this. There's a thing there which asks you, the builder, if you want to set up a dispatch via Living Railroad. Living Railroad is the game will look at industries and cars and locomotives and try to make the railroad run. And it'll grab a locomotive, at least theoretically, it'll grab a locomotive, it'll take cars, it'll bring those cars to an industry that needs them and then fill up and then bring that commodity to an industry that that takes it. That is, in theory, what Living Railroad will do. And I don't know how in-depth it's going to get, but honestly, the fact that they're working on something like that kind of blows my mind and makes me really excited for the future, because no one has ever really tried to do that. If they're trying to make the Trainz AI smart, and I don't mean that as a dig, not like saying that it's dumb. The Trainz AI is certainly something, and I've had my gripes with it in the past, but this isn't the forum or the time or the place, I suppose, for me to just dunk on the AI being ridiculous. No, what I'm saying is making it smart, as in making it able to run a railroad without human input, making it something beyond an AI that takes train and takes it from point A to point B and does what you're asking it to do, programmed in the controller. Sort of taking this idea of a railroad that is running all the time, that is doing stuff all the time, and is and transposing that onto the base game, so that you don't even need to create that. It will create itself if you build the world for it to exist in. And yeah, Bryson, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So Trainz do stuff without you doing everything. Does it work right now? Don't think so. But it hopefully will at some point in the future, because that's what they're aiming towards. And honestly, the fact that there exists now a a steady stream of revenue for them in the form of Trainz Plus memberships, which I have one. I'm paying them however many bucks a year it is, and they're taking my money. It's like I'm buying trains again and again every year. Uh, I'm not complaining about that, because they're taking my money and they're doing stuff with it. They're taking it and they're running servers. They are developing the AI. They're doing stuff like this. And it is, I think it's a fine use of my cash, right? Um, and this isn't a pitch for Trainz Plus memberships. I feel like the perks speak for themselves. If you want to do MPS, if you want to have all that DLC or whatever the other benefits are, then, the chest speaks for itself, right? But it is, uh, it is the kind of thing where they're taking it, where I am looking at the things that they're working on and going, I am souped that my money is going to this. Like, yeah, if it was laid out in front of me and I had to like decide to pay $70 a year or whatever I pay, um, every time, I probably wouldn't bother. At least most of the time, because I don't use MPS all that much right now. Um, so probably wouldn't bother. But because I'm subscribed, because I am signed up for this, I see the charge and I go, okay, yeah, another year of that. And I'll use it if I feel like it. And if not, it's money that's going to the development of something that I care about. It's money that's going to the development of something that I think is cool and that I've wanted in the game since the very beginning. For those that have been here since Geiger Mountains, you know exactly what my deal was. I wanted to make a railroad that ran itself. And I didn't have any idea how to do it properly, or realistically for that matter, but I had an idea, and I have never let go of that idea. In fact, the only, well, no, I take that back. Not the only route. I haven't really tried to recreate it like I have here in Tolbrand, um, until we were here in Tolbrand. In between, I had the Tamaros Vale and Anaconda Railway, and that was a neat project just because it let me stretch my legs and try to build a world. It's my first attempt at doing that, really. My first attempt at doing that. Oh no. All of the trees and stuff. All of the trees and stuff. No! Okay. Well, whatever. I'm not even gonna try with that. Um, in fact, I should, if I'm just gonna leave it. Um, do you have to go back and set each individual grass blind? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. If somebody loads this up, and not in this session, these trees are gonna be gone. But whatever, that's the price you pay. Part of me wants to just delete them and replace them, because that will take way, way, way less time than updating them all. But you know what takes even less time than that? Doing nothing. Doing nothing. And if I go here and we'll see, I'll flick off the session layer and you'll see that disappear. And oh no, that's very sad. There are no trees over there. But it's okay because we did not do very much this episode. Um, the we did the roads though. We did a bunch of roads. Okay. Um, now the thing is, I'm gonna make a save before I do this. Save. Because we'll see if this breaks anything. I'm gonna save. We'll see if this breaks anything, what I'm about to do. Because I used to do this all the time, but with the way that stuff is set up and with the way that signals and signal boxes and the interlocking towers is what I mean, the way that they hold stuff, they hold it on the session layer. And I don't know if doing this is going, because I haven't done it in a long time, I don't know if doing this is going to break them. So let's see. Let's merge the session layer into the route layer. It's the first time I've done this in a really, really, really long time. I don't know what all it's doing, honestly. beginning validation process. Because obviously it won't get rid of the obviously it won't get rid of the session layer. We will just have a new session layer. But the question is, will doing this, oop, parent track not found. Lionhead Mine Lumber. Is that thunder? I think that was just somebody driving up the street. I don't think it was thunder. So we're gonna sit here for a minute and let this go. Meanwhile, let's take a look in the other world. Oh wait, instead of doing that, let's just do it like this. Oh, it's underneath Trainz, right? Because Trainz is the top priority on the thing. So whatever. Let's check. Let's see. Does Milky still need 12,000 passengers? Yeah. Yep. Is Middleton growing? Yes. How is my line looking? It's looking fine, but I really wish, like, I was fighting to get it to increase this whole time, and it's not. This was when I gridlocked overnight. I was so close to catching East, and then I did not. There's so much more stuff for me to do, and every time I add something, it ends up stifling me a little bit. Like, the cost for this track, I wonder if it's even worth it. Like, this made 48 grand last year, and how much am I paying for narrow gauge track? Narrow gauge track, I'm paying $98,000 in total, and I'm not sure if it's making a difference. That I'll need to fix at some point. Now, I am going to use this Coke for something. In fact, I'm probably going to run it over here to this, which is making aluminum, and then I'll have to do something with the aluminum, which I haven't quite decided yet. The only place on my system currently, I believe, that takes aluminum is all the way over here at the top of a mountain, so that's not very helpful. Meanwhile, how's this guy doing? 1,000 tons a month, but the 69% transport. Now the problem is most of this is single track, especially this part here. There are a couple of little passing sightings on the way up, but wait, what? Oh, there's this signal right there. It's like, what do you? You're ending at the back of a signal? That's not right. Okay, are you done yet? Ah, are done. Okay. Validating route and session item. Wait, it's gone? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Save as. Let's jump to version 29 then. Because usually it does not go away. It should not go away. It should stay there. Hey, Jersey. Come on. What are you doing? Why are you causing so many problems? I think next time I do this, next time I do an OpenTTD server like this, I'm going to invite as many, because I used to not be in many Discord servers. I used to actually just stay in the one that I had. And it was a very long time before I started branching out and started taking part in other servers, or even just being in other servers. So, you know, I'm hesitant to like expand my stuff, and because the Iron Horseman server is my home base, and that's where I run the local games and community playdates and things out of. Yeah, okay, I'm not about to extend. I'm not gonna sort of do a server tour and run Merger Mania in a bunch of servers, although I might like to. I have done it in one other. Well, Bryson, you know, we always answer when Mom calls. Okay, I thought for a minute there was suddenly no session. Okay, let's double-click on this, and then let me select Edit Session and see if there's now a session layer. Because if there is, I will check stuff and make sure that everything's okay. I missed out on the COS community Discord. Oh, was there? Is it no longer existing? Which is that's sad. If that's the case, I haven't done one in Mark's Discord. I could. I've thought about trying to do like a celebrity local games where I drag in Mark. Okay, so the session layer is gone. That's not good. We don't want the session layer to be gone. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know why there's so much goddamn drama. We just need to all get along and not cause chaos. Um, Same thing happened with the damn Railroader Discord, or not Railroader. The Railroads Online, the other one. Um, that one still exists, but it's like a shell of its former self. I don't spend any time over there. Um, What's funny, if Icer, if you're still here, I ended up recently in a server that Icer is in, and to see him active was kind of funny. Um, all right, go back to select route. Okay, we broke this. We definitely broke this. Edit session. Um, Sir, if any Missouri railroad historians would want to do Merger Mania, I mean, I could always pack it up and go on tour, right? We're doing Mopac. We're doing Mopac. I'm reading the thing. We're doing Merger Mania this week. We're doing it tomorrow, and I was fiddling around in Merger Mania to change some stuff earlier today. I was banned from there for being on Mark's side of things. I just kept to myself when that whole thing was going down. But it's Valiant, right? Can't. Okay, right. We've got to check all the roads. Forgot we got to. Let's set your outlier first. Oh, you know what? Easiest thing to do first is just see what disappears. Oh, not seed. Okay, the intersection over here. Also, not this one? Didn't we do this one today? No, I guess not. Oh, and that all is one piece of road, so yeah. The things are all on the session. The rulers being on the session layer does not bother me at all. In fact, I would almost rather them be on the session layer because then I can just hide them all. Anyway, route layer, save changes, click, route layer, save changes, select, route layer, save changes, select, route layer, save changes. Okay, so there's that. I think there might be something in here. Yep, session layer. Now it's route layer. Can I hide the route layer? I don't. Everything is gone. Everything is gone. I don't know if I could change. Oh, you know what? I should make a layer here. Call it temp. Add to route. And then what I'll do is I'll take this stuff and I'll move it to temp. I would love to do Merger Mania with Mark. I just have not had the opportunity to do that. Maybe once, if the stuff, have I thought about grandfathering in farms to town or city limits? That's a really fun one. I haven't thought of it yet, but I should do that somewhere. Okay. All these houses being in the, you know what? They can go away. I don't care about them. That's just a physical pick list, is what that is. And we'll find them again, I'm sure. Yeah, no, I would love to do Merger Mania and Locomotive Royale and stuff with Mark and then. The guy's been busy and I've been busy and I haven't even talked to him in a while. I kind of feel bad about that. I'll see him next month for the wedding, for Wybold's wedding. So there's that. So I'm not sure if I can move stuff to a layer that's turned off. Oh, I can. Never mind. I don't need the temp layer at all. That actually works really well because then I know exactly what's left. So let's merge the temp layer into the root layer. Merge into root layer. Oh, and this is going to take another minute. Busy's in trying to make a 462 do a loop-to-loop. Well, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to taking Merger Mania on tour. It's a pretty straightforward game. I just haven't done it. Honestly, it would be a fun little series to do on my channel, doing Merger Mania on tour. Could just ask around in the different discords I'm in and see who's game for it. Um, why is Lionhead mine? Oh, because that's on the route layer. Okay. Ooh, that's new. Limestone. What takes limestone in the vicinity? Oh, I know what takes. Ooh, this is super easy, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a while. All right, hold tight. Because I've been meaning to add a dock to Fort Fairfield Furnace. Try saying that 10 times fast. And then this up here, up the river here, I could just throw down throw down a dock, bury limestone mines, and then this is my boat. So how much does this make in a month? 220 tons of limestone, cargo capacity over running cost. The mail-in freighter is probably enough for this. If it's probably even overkill. So go to ship depot, maintain if needed, full load any cargo. Are you set to limestone? Doesn't matter, I'll refit you now. Limestone, refit. Alright, ship 16, go upriver. Anyway, are you done? Almost. Locomotive Works in the future, they call it the Bachmann Locomotive Works. They only make 060s, 260s, and 2662s. Or 262s. Whoa, what the heck is this? Where's Tetris? There is no Tetris, only Zool. So, East built this lock, and it's been so friggin' useful. Okay, we're doing fine with ammonia and food. The food rating isn't super great, which doesn't surprise me, but this guy moseys along at 35 miles an hour, and I can still buy a long boiler, so I'm not replacing him yet. Yeah. These came out in 1855, and I can still buy them. So I've still got some of them like hanging around in storage. This is my this is what's going to become the museum fleet. I have a planet that was built 32 years ago, although it is much older than that. I've got this from the very beginning of the server, from like 2 years in. This 47 years ago, 47 years old. And this Crampton, which is actually still like new, but I can't buy them new anymore, I don't think. Let's double check. No, I can. I can still buy a Crampton from 1847, from the very beginning of the game. I can still buy those. But it's in storage because I'm running, I think I'm not running any Cramptons anymore. Oh no, I'm running one on the Skohegan producer. So there's that. And I think that's it. I don't think I have any other Cramptons hanging around. No, I've got a copper knob on the short coke and another copper knob somewhere else. But those actually need to be replaced. These two are only still here because they're not expired yet. And so I might find a use for them, but I doubt it. Anyway, alright. We've done that. But yeah, I'd love to get some more people in the... Oh! Hey look, there are some more things. We can fix these things. This is how we're ending this episode. We're fixing stuff. Not that forest. That'll be like a busy work task. I wonder how long it'll take me. Honestly, I should just delete it and replace it. Oh, and this is also on the route layer, or on the session layer, which, oops. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is, well, whatever. This is part of the pick list, but whatever. I'll throw it on the route layer anyway. Is this the 8-bit version of Transport Fever? Honestly, kind of, yeah. It's the OG. It's the OG. I mean, the original Transport Tycoon came out like 30 years ago now. So, it is. It's a very early Railroad Tycoon game. What if you join the Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts Club, me and Kaiser? I have Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. I bought it. I haven't installed it yet. It's one of those things where I need to get around to installing it and getting used to it. because I know that there's the multiplayer DLC that's out, and I'd pay for that. It's like 15 bucks or whatever. I'll wait till it goes on sale, but I would love to do multiplayer Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts with some people. That sounds like a lot of fun. I honestly, that could be fodder for a series, and I need to put out what like my Mondays are gonna be going forward. Now that I'm done with Factorio, I know I said that I would get. Last Race did had lots of UFOs. Uh, I know that I said I would get back to Derail Valley with the persistent jobs mod, which I definitely want to do. Like I really want to do, um, but I I just haven't had the free Mondays, and maybe I'll think about it once. Honestly, my Mondays are probably going to remain off until I get back from Colorado because I need the time. Um, but at that point, doing a Derail Valley playthrough, or doing an Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts playthrough, or doing a Merge Romania on tour, if I am happy with the way things are when we're done with this with these changes, and we'll see if I actually get the changes. Um, we'll see if I get the changes to Merger Mania done in time. Hi Brian, I'm about to end the video. Oh, there's a piece of thing here. Uh, Hold on. Oh, wrong thing. Derp. See, all splines are the same, and um, not sure if you saw what I posted in general. It's a miracle I'm even here right now. You get in a car accident or something? Car show. Several people got hurt. Oh, geez. Well, I'm glad you were out of Dodge. That's that's yikes. All right, I think that's everything in town put on. I think that's everything in town put on the correct layer. This whole town is on the correct layer, so there's that. What happened? And then let's see if there's anything down here. But we're gonna wrap up, and I gotta eat. So. Jeez. Came home from Lima, saw a car accident at the 1 and 2 lanes of that road closed. Well, car accidents are a dime a dozen. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Getting in a car is the most dangerous thing most people do day to day. Fort Worth having a high-speed chase. I subscribe to I'm on a subreddit that has like high-speed chases or whatever, and there's so little activity there. I'm wondering if I'm missing like the real one. Just want to see cars chasing cars down streets. Although this is easy to see, the water is on the root layer. It's easy to see that that I missed a spot under the water there. So we might as well fix that, and then we're gonna wrap up here. Oh, that's why I couldn't see it. Anyway, all right, let's jump back to where we belong, over here in Bellington, and let's look at this, which is not much for today, but we got started a little bit late, and we had to do a lot of busy work at the end of it. I'm happy that this is coming along. I'm happy that we're developing lore, and soon enough we'll have this whole damn town done, right? I didn't work on that today, but oh well. We broke stuff. It's street racers trying to escape the police. Damn. Anyway, this is the Admiral. Hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, I still have this. I still have screen on. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. This is the Admiral.